Good morning, everybody. I'm joined by two wonderful gentlemen. One, my co-host of many, many years, Bill Siniard, is here today. We have so much to talk about, but first we're going to talk to Daniel because we have some really, really good news about the animal shelter in Gilmer County. The money that was appropriated as a gift is now, you can spend it.
We can spend it.
Yay.
I still have to, go through all the proper channels with the commissioner's office and, getting requisition PO numbers for the civil engineers and the surveyors and everything else that we have to do. But we finally have a civil engineer. We're finally starting to set up surveying, getting the soil tests done. So that way we can hopefully put it out to bid for a construction company, hopefully in the next couple months.
Do you think there's a chance of getting a local company?
Our hope is that we can, but
that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
It's really animal shelter has to be built a certain way, and so we're going to look at the experience levels, and we're going to look at what construction companies have to offer, because it has to be built a certain way.
And because there were two donors involved in this, is it going to get a multi-name? Are there going to be a couple of people involved in the new name of the addition? Are you going to add that in?
We've talked a little bit about it, about doing, we have one donor that is preference for cats, and we have one donor that's preference for dogs. So we thought about, one wing, the dog wing is a name, and the cat section a name. So we've talked a little bit about it, but no definite answers on that yet.
Is there a time frame for when this build will happen?
We're hoping to break ground maybe spring, early spring, before summer, and hopefully get it done by the end of the year.
That'd be awesome.
You need a new wing called a snake wing, so you can donate for that one.
Oh,
You love snakes.
Yep.
Well, anybody who's ever looked at the photos that Freddie Brackett put on there, and one day he sent me 3 pictures of snakes in the yard, and I'm like, I don't want to see these anymore. And one was a huge snake, and I'm like, I don't even want to see a little snake. And then that same day he sent me a picture of a small green snake, but this huge, massive snake, and I know you found humor in that. It was right at the driveway where I'm at all the time, and I'm like, if I had seen that snake, Out of the animals that you take care of, have you had any birds out there before?
We did have one lady that had a medical issue on the side of the road one time, and she had an African gray
I love them.
and a dog in her car. So the ambulance had to take her to the hospital, and we came out and got her bird and her dog. And the
that was
African
different,
gray,
wasn't it?
It was. But the African gray was, he could talk, and he was hilarious. And she came back the next day, and fortunately, her health was fine, and she took him away. So.
Yeah. Well, you'll find humor in this. We had an African gray, and it talked like me. And every once in a while, it would slip up with a bad word. And my husband said, yes, it talks just like you. I try not to anymore, but I used to be pretty bad. And the African gray would repeat me, and I'd go, oh my gosh.
I'm going to tell Travis Bridgman on you.
Yeah, I know it. I think I told him myself.
Oh, you confessed to the priest?
Yes, I think I did. I think I've confessed a lot. But, the animals, and we laugh about, your wife, Melissa, has a Cocker Spaniel. Cocker Spaniels are known for biting people. Has your Cocker Spaniel ever bit you?
No, but she nose butts. She don't bite me, but she nose butts people. She'll run at them and hit them in the leg with her nose, but that's about the extent of it. She'll snarl at them.
Yeah.
She's real sweet otherwise, once
And
she gets to know you.
how did Melissa get that dog? Was it a shelter?
She bought it. A friend in town had a couple of them, and she bought it. She bought 2 of them, and one I named them Laverne and Shirley. She kept Laverne because Shirley was mean, so she sent that one.
Of course, Shirley was mean.
She sold it to somebody else.
When we look at animals for the holidays, some people say, oh, I want to get a puppy for the holidays. And then the holidays get busy, and you don't take care of the animal, and you don't realize how much time it takes to train a puppy. The last thing I would ever want in my home is a puppy, because you've got to spend the time training the puppy, or you got to spend the money to buy the puppy pads where you're cleaning up where the puppy missed the pad. So it's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, puppies, the first 6 months of their life is very important when it comes to puppies. You want to make sure that you train them the right way. At the shelter, we don't adopt out puppies under 4 months old. We get litters of puppies all the time, 6 weeks old, 8 weeks old. I have many rescues that take them in. They get sent to a foster home, and then they get, trained, they get fixed, they get all their vaccinations, and then they're adopted out to the right family members.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, so because I know I could adopt all the puppies out eventually, but the amount of puppies and dogs we have constantly coming in, we stay pretty full with all the dogs and cats we have leaving on a weekly basis. And it just makes more sense. This rescue can take all 8 puppies at one time, do all the things required, you know, screen the adopters, make sure the puppy gets put in the right home, and all I have to do is just give them their first vaccination and first deworming, take care of them a few days, and all 8 of them can leave at one time. And, and that's how we operate.
Now, Dr. Chester is very involved with the shelter and donates his time, energy, efforts often. Is there anything going on with him before the end of the year?
I don't think so before the end of the year. I think Fogus has him coming up in February, I think, for the next spay-neuter clinic. But yeah, he's very involved with Fogus and the Gilmer Animal Shelter. I have a trip to New Jersey once a month to one of our rescue groups up there. Dr. Chester does most of the spaying and neutering, rabies and health cert. Dr. Mitchell at Copper Basin Vet Clinic does them as well. Most of my cats and kittens are fixed up at Dr. Mitchell's in Copper Basin.
Dr. Mitchell is one of those guys that from the moment you meet him, you understand why he does what he does for a living. And it is truly from his heart.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely
And
awesome.
when we were growing up, the guys who'd come out and get the dogs were called dog catchers. They still call them dog catchers?
Sometimes, yep, sometimes,
Okay.
yep.
I didn't know if they'd labeled that or not.
Yeah,
No,
I think I made a comment one day. I wouldn't vote for him for county dog catcher.
So don't insult the dog catcher.
You know, animal control is one of those things. We didn't used to hear about animal control. There was no animal control.
It was a dog catcher.
Or there was nothing, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it became important. Is it important because people started calling saying, I saw a stray? How did that develop?
Well, I imagine animal control was, brought about just to help with the stray dogs that were constantly coming into people's yards and maybe tearing into their garbage or starting fights with their animals or just being aggressive in a manner to where their kids couldn't go outside to play. So I'm sure animal control eventually started because of that, but then animal control turned into enforcing all these different ordinances or just helping, you know, control the spaying and neutering, animal overpopulation. So animal control now, it has so many different meanings. Each county is different in how animal control operates. Some counties don't have any animal control. Some counties have animal control, and some counties are run by the Sheriff's Department. Their animal control is run by the Sheriff's Department. So, so many different aspects of animal control.
And your shelter, we might add, is a no-kill shelter.
Yes.
And that's so very, very important.
Yeah, we take in close to 2,000 animals a year. When I first took over in 2015, we became no-kill on the dog side for the first year in 2015. We didn't reach that no-kill status for cats until 2017. So we've been no-kill for both dogs and cats since 2017.
That's awesome. And it took a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and a lot of volunteers.
A lot of volunteers, a lot of great people coming and going every single day.
And when we talk about Fogus, for friends who've been dead, not alive, and have not seen our show before, we've honored Fogus. We've had Fogus. They've honored me. We have done so many things with Fogus because Fogus gives back to everybody who has animals. They offer coupons for discounts, spay and neuter. They do rabies clinics. They raise money. They raise awareness. Now, how did Fogus get started?
Fogus was started way before I came about. Bill and Linda Schmid.
And it's Friends of Gilmer Animal Shelter.
Yes, Bill and Linda Schmid were the president and treasurer years and years ago when the shelter was still at the old jail. And I think they kind of spearheaded the shelter getting built that we're in now back in 2007, 2008. But they've been great. You know, I think we may have lost a little bit of touch for a few years ago, as far as like what they needed to do for me and what I needed from them. And we finally got on the same page a few years ago, and it was getting to help the community, spaying and neutering, because if we can help the community and fix the overpopulation, over-pet population in the community, that's going to help the shelter tenfold. So now we work together on many events, spay-neuter events, Pet Palooza. We have our Christmas at the Shelter event
I
coming up.
want to ask you about the Christmas at the Shelter. Tell me about that.
Christmas at the Shelter. This will be our second time having Christmas at the Shelter. The first time was in 2019. We didn't get to do it last year because of COVID. But this year, Christmas at the Shelter will involve the kids coming and reading to the dogs, doing arts and crafts. Simplify Santa will be there to take pictures. We'll have refreshments. The cat adoptions will be $10. The dog adoptions will be $50. All the dog runs have stockings on their runs, so that way anybody that brings some donations
can put it in the stocking.
Can put it in the stocking.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, it's just going to be a fun day for the families, the kids, the adults, anybody that wants to come participate.
And what day is it?
It is Friday, this coming Friday, December 17th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. So that's a school day, so it's going to be hard to get the kids there.
Well, I think they're getting out of school early
At
that
12,
day.
okay.
So they should be able to be out of school by then. So.
And what about rules and regulations for volunteers? How do you do that? Do you teach people when they come in and want to volunteer? Yeah,
my staff usually helps them. We have a lot of dog walkers coming in and helping out right now, so we have a select few volunteers that have the experience, and they've been helping the new dog walkers that are coming to volunteer. But anybody that comes in to help us clean, my staff and the other volunteers that have been there a while will help show them the ropes, and they have to sign in every day. They have to sign a volunteer agreement and everything like that. But they come in, and my staff shows them the ropes and gets them started.
Now, because you're near the jail, has there been a program where inmates could help? Is there a program where inmates could adopt an animal and take it to the jail? Because I know in some of the state prisons there are programs like that.
There is a prison up in Union County that I think it's called Colwell. They do the adoptions at the jail, and the inmates take care of them for 6 weeks and do the training. And a lot of times
they actually get credit for that.
They do, and a lot of times the inmate ends up adopting the dog when they get out, and it works out really well. Our jail, I'm not sure. I can't really speak for our jail as far as what kind of setup they would have for that, but I know we do have some inmates that come over and help cut the grass and weed eat and things like that for us. But as far as coming over every day and helping clean, I just don't think they have the manpower to have a deputy stand at the shelter.
I know it's been
day.
very successful in the prisons that have tried it because it builds a bond. And often if you're in prison, there's broken bonds in your life forever, you know, with your family or friends or whoever you know, did something bad to. And it is a great way to bring that bonding back.
Yeah, and it really helps the animals out too, especially if you have an animal that needs that socialization, needs that bond or that training. To have somebody that can take care of it every single day is very helpful and helps get that animal adopted when in most cases it might not have been adopted.
Right. What's the best animal you have there today? If I wanted to go into the shelter today and you said, we've got this great animal, what's the best dog there today?
We have a yellow lab there that came in last week. I'm actually surprised no one has come to claim it, but he's really friendly, he's super sweet. He's only about a year old,
Wow.
and I imagine his stray hold actually ended today. I imagine if anybody comes in looking to adopt and they see him, they're going to want him.
Yeah, yeah. Is he friendly and I don't know if yellow labs have a reputation of being, are they protective? Are they guard dogs?
Labs aren't usually protective in that way. I mean, you might have some that become protective of their property, but for the most part, labs are just friendly dogs that just really want to please and be there for their owner. So.
Do you remember my Rottweiler Gizmo?
No.
No. Gizmo used to stay under my desk. Like if I were sitting here, Gizmo would be under my desk. And she was great until certain people walked up. And you could hear her growl. And I would look down and her hair would be standing up. I'm like, she doesn't like that person. So dogs have this weird sense of people. It's really strange how'd they get that smart.
I have no idea. For the most part, 90% of the dogs I come across, you know, they're great with me. But there are a couple that, you know, they just
don't like the people.
They don't like me. I don't know if maybe I look like somebody in their life or.
Yeah.
We have a dog at the shelter right now. His name is Trip, and he does great with the volunteers that walk, and he does great with my employee Will. He does great with just about everybody. But if I stop and just look at him, he will growl at me. And I think it has to do with because I caught him in a trap, and I was the one that brought him to the shelter, and I just don't think he ever forgot.
Yes. You should have worn a mask that day so he wouldn't recognize you.
He would still know it. He'd smell it.
He'd probably know. But
isn't that something?
I mean, he can be walking and playing and have a good old time, and if I walk up and just glance at him, he knows and growls.
Wow. That is so weird.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Okay, again, tell folks, Christmas at the shelter begins at 1 o'clock on Friday.
This Friday until 4 p.m. Bring the kids. If we're still rocking and rolling at 4 p.m., we'll just extend it till 5 p.m. So it's just all about the animals and all about the families coming to participate.
And if you want to come and make a donation, this would be a great day to do that. You can see the shelter at work, and at the same time, you can write a check for a donation.
Yes, they can write a check. Yeah, they can write 2 checks. They can write as many checks as they want. So.
That's right. Well, Daniel, thank you for being here today. And for you guys who don't know where the animal shelter is, it is on Highway 52 East, right by the county jail. And you just turn right there off of 52, and it's right there. Get to know the shelter, get to know the wonderful people who run it, and let your checkbook get to know it, because you can make a monthly donation. And again, it is tax deductible. So thank you so much for being here today. And to the 2 people who volunteered to donate lots of money, we will see progress coming in the near future. Maybe you can bring photos as the progress comes about. Yep. And we will share that. It's very exciting for Gilmer County to be able to double the size of the shelter.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, I think we're going to get to meet somebody you love. Aunt Arlene was in the house, and I think we're going to share her playing the piano sitting here. And you know, Travis Bridgman was the last person to play this piano. That piano sits there idle a lot, and that is such a shame, because to see somebody sit down at that piano, it warms your heart. So we're going to come back from the commercial break to Bill's precious Aunt Arlene.
United Country Talking Rock Realty says it best. I'm happy as long as I can see Sharp Top. From the ground up, new home to complete renovation or remodel, we have combined the amazing workmanship of SGC Groups, transforming the forgotten to the fabulous. Teamwork makes the dream work. For buying, selling, or flipping, call Sherry Martin at 404-375-0590 or Evelyn Calhoun at 770-733-0779.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
about 28 minutes I did down there in Ball Ground, just talking about the area and learning a little bit about the history of Ball Ground, will be on MeTV. Please, during the break, during the holidays, get out and do something you haven't done close to home. I think it's a great idea. I sometimes start Turtletown and come backwards. Sometimes I start here and go forwards. But every single little community we serve has something cool to do. Now, you two come from a little community that used to be nothing. Cartersville, Georgia was nothing. Now Cartersville is part of Atlanta. Eileen, talk about the growth there you've seen. Isn't it amazing?
It is. It just blows my mind every time I even go into town. There's so many, you know, every time you drive around, you see something new that's been built.
Right.
It just.
But
we don't have to go to Marietta or Atlanta anymore.
Is downtown Cartersville still the same?
Oh yeah,
pretty much.
It's still there. It still has a lot of the shops, and they've actually redone or
What
redid
about that
some
little
of those.
diner? What's it called? Four-way stop? Oh,
and Ross's
man.
Diner.
When we were children, Daddy used to take us there to eat.
Well, you need to come back up and let's just show you around again too. And really, and with Don working at the Grand Theater right there on the square. That they've got so many new things up now too.
And the Booth Western Museum.
Booth Western Art Museum.
So here it is. What is
the only
Cartersville
one
from
in
here?
the southeast
30
like
minutes?
Probably
minutes or so?
45, 50-minute drive from LJ.
Okay.
Now you could be in downtown Cartersville in about 40 minutes, 35 minutes from Jasper probably.
Okay. So for people who are watching us, let's entice them to go to Cartersville and spend some time.
You won't regret it because there's just so many things to see now that we've got available that, you know, even people in Atlanta is very jealous of what some of the things that we have in the art.
Okay, now we're going to advance to Aunt Eileen. You got to hear her talk just a little bit. She was very prim, very proper.
Yeah, but
she was something else.
She liked to cut up too, though.
She was an amazing, amazing lady who sadly, and I didn't realize that your grandmother also had Alzheimer's.
Yep.
And you said at the end of her life, she remembered the words to Amazing Grace.
Yeah, she's singing it on her deathbed. She remembered every word, but she couldn't tell you your name and didn't know who you were. So
Wow.
it's just weird how that works.
So the music stayed with them.
Yeah.
Was the grandmother the reason that your family is so musically talented?
Perhaps. I mean, they said their dad he liked to play a little banjo and stuff too, but he died at an early age in 1950. But yeah, I think both of them had a hand in it.
Okay, now we've got the piano music, so here we go to Aunt Eileen as she played the piano here at ETC.
Miss Eileen on the piano.
I would love to tell you what I think of Jesus, since I found him in a friend so strong and true. I would tell you how he changed my life completely. He did something that no other friend could do. So kind as he, no one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much he cares for me. Every day he comes to me with new assurance. More and more I understand his words of love. Then someday I know he came to save me, till I see him face to face from above. So kind as he. take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much he cares for me. I'll go ahead and do Sweet, Sweet Spirit. There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place, and I know that it's the Spirit of the Lord. There's a sweet expression on each face, and I know that it's the presence of the Lord. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts in praise. Without a doubt, we'll know that we have been revived when we shall leave this place.
What a precious, precious memory to be able to share
Yeah.
Aunt Eileen as she performed. She was on the show often. We loved having her here. She was such a bright and shining spirit. She actually came down when we did a program in Jasper, when we had a live show down there, and she was there. The music was very, very important to her. The music is important to a lot of your family members. Leah can sing. Kaylee can sing. Can Ansley sing?
Oh yeah, she can sing. Well, a lot of us can sing 4 parts. I think Ansley could sing 8 parts. So.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
But she doesn't use it that often. I don't
Yeah,
wish she would.
yeah. Well, let's share a little bit of what's going on with Kaylee and invite people to come and see a play that he's starring in, but he's not there.
Well, I wouldn't call
Which
it
is
starring.
very weird.
I've got a small part, but it's at the Biblical Times Theater in Pigeon Forge. If you know where traffic light number 1 is on the Parkway, the Biblical Times Theater is right there next to it. There's the Woodfire Grill, the Biblical Times Theater, and the Feasters on Teasters restaurant. They have all of that going. They're having, right now it started on November 6th. It's the Christmas musical, Christmas play. It's called A Savior Has Come. And I play the evil King Herod.
Imagine that, y'all. He plays the evil king. Imagine that.
I think I sent you some pictures. I don't know if
Yes,
you got them.
and
But,
Tim, can we pull those photos up and let's show that?
a lot of times people, they know I live here in Pickens County, and they ask me, well, how are you able to go up there and do that every night? Well, I don't. They filmed my part. So.
Right. And they filmed your part, and then they put the other, okay, there's some of the things you do in your spare time too. On top of being in a play, running your business, you're now making stuff to sell. And you actually brought a table here that I love today that is a piece of live oak maple. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's live oak maple ambrosia, and it's got legs and feet made out of reclaimed pallet wood.
There you go. So recycle, recycle, recycle. And there's the table you brought today, and it is sitting here on the set. It is a great entry-level table, and it's what, $195?
Yeah, that particular one's $195. I've got some that are much cheaper and some that are more. So.
That is really cool. That is really cool. And what does that say, country living?
Country living, yeah.
Imagine country living. We're doing a little country living around here. Yeah, yeah.
And that's a walnut table.
And is that metal legs or wood
No,
legs?
it's actually wood. It looks like metal.
It looks like metal.
Right,
Yeah.
but I used wood on that because I'm a big fan of the wood. And,
Yeah. That is a beautiful table.
A lot of folks like the metal nowadays, but the wood to me is much safer on your floor.
Yeah.
So.
Now, how much would that one cost?
That one, I haven't priced it yet, but it's going to be somewhere in the $175 range, give or take a few dollars.
I love that. I love that. And it's walnut.
Mm-hmm. That particular one's around 4.5, 5 feet long.
Yep. Okay, now can we go to the pictures of him as the king? The king. Yay.
There's a lot of fun in doing that because a lot of fun in doing that musical, and I think a lot of folks need to go up and see it because it's a dinner and a show. It's not just a show, but you get to have a good meal. They have good food as far as meats and veggies go, and you get to eat that while you're watching the show.
Really?
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about the idea that the theater is, during the other time of the year, if they're not doing Christmas plays, do they do other things?
Yeah, back in the summer, she had a play called Ruth. It was about Ruth in the Bible, and it portrayed her story. It was very good too. They used some of the same actors in that, and it's a musical / play, and just a great presentation. And it's also a dinner and a show.
There's a Bible verse that has to do with Ruth, and my tag is like that Bible verse. And somebody looked at that one day and said, "That's so weird that your tag represents Ruth because you remind me of Ruth." And tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly about Ruth.
Well, I mean, she was went to live with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and then she met Boaz, who they went up getting married, of course. And, God used that to bring across the lineage of Christ, of course.
Yeah. When she saw my tag, and I'd never even noticed that, and she said, "Oh my gosh, that's the verse in Ruth that reminds me." What? So it's so weird now. Now, when they do Ruth and then they do the Christmas play, do they do an Easter play?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd call it Easter, but she's been writing one recently that is coming up in the spring. It's called The Story of Peter. So they're going to portray his life starting in the spring. I'm not sure what dates it'll be, but it will lead into the summer months, and then she'll probably have another one. But I'm proud of her because she's not only writing the arrangements for all these musicals and plays, she's actually doing the choreography for it. She writes some of the songs for it.
Y'all, she's got 4 kids. She has a husband who requires a certain amount of attention, as husbands do. She is doing it all. I don't know how the girl, I don't know how she can take a breath.
She's promoting gospel music too, because she's now officially a bona fide Southern gospel music promoter. She has groups coming into her theater. In fact, we were just up there this weekend.
And the Inspirations were there.
They opened up. So she's having all the good groups come in there and sing, and she actually had the Primitives, the night the Inspirations were there, the Primitives were right next door in her hotel lobby singing in a conference room.
Wow.
And she offered them, they wanted to sing in the conference room. They liked that better. So she had 2 groups going at one time.
Now there you are on stage. Okay, can you explain to people how this works?
Well, it's actually kind of like the weathermen do. They put you on a green screen and they film you moving in your parts. In fact, the Roman soldier there is my son-in-law, Kaylee's husband. And the guy on the right there, he's my servant. He interacts. He's live on stage.
So those 2 are live?
No, my son-in-law and I are filmed.
Okay.
And he is live.
Okay.
But he interacts with us, and in fact, I throw a goblet at him, and he catches it, and it looks just like I threw it right at him, and he caught it. But
that is crazy.
It's weird how it works, but it looks so real. And there's been a lot of people in those theaters, that theater there to watch this play, and she's having good crowds up there.
That's awesome. Now, what about getting tickets? How do you purchase your tickets?
Well, if you go to Biblical Times Theater website and just look up their ticket prices and their hours, and just remind yourself it's a dinner and a show, so you're getting a great meal. It's kind of like going to some of the other shows in Pigeon Forge where they have a dinner and a show. It's the same setup, but this is all about the Bible and biblical stuff, biblical times.
And this runs through when?
Probably around the first week of January or so.
Okay. So after the Christmas rush is over, and after you've cleaned up all the mess and all the turkey bones and all the, oh gosh, the tinsel, then you could go to Pigeon Forge.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and of course King Herod, if you remember, he was an evil king, and he killed a lot of the Jewish boys under 2 years and under to try to get rid of Jesus, and I have to portray that in here. And
wow,
it's a sobering thought to see how bad that guy really was.
Wow. Wow.
I'm a nice guy, but I had to play a bad guy.
Yes, that is very strange, and oh my gosh. Okay, now can we show the pictures of Montana?
Yeah, this is actually Wyoming. It's
Wyoming,
Grand
that's right.
Tetons.
Yeah,
It's right near Montana.
Right.
We went there a few years ago. I absolutely loved it. My son took his wife out there.
This looks picturesque, like the perfect postcard.
Yeah, when you're standing there looking at the Grand Tetons, your eyes are fooled because you think it's a Hollywood backdrop. But it's real. And those mountains are the prettiest mountain range I have seen anywhere in North America.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And what time of year did they go there?
They went the last week of October, and that's when we went too. A few years back, they had a little bit more snow than when we went, but it is absolutely gorgeous. If you get a chance to go, it's well worth it.
Wow.
Stay in Jackson Hole or even stay in Montana.
Okay, now look at that. Just look at that. That is like beyond postcard gorgeous.
And I hope you don't mind me showing it, but they had a ball. And that's their first trip out west.
Oh my gosh. That is beautiful.
Well, he had a chance to take her for their anniversary, and he asked me, he said, where would you go? And I told him Grand Canyon. I said San Diego or Yosemite, or I said I would highly recommend the Grand Tetons, and that's where they went.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, they thoroughly enjoyed it. It's
now,
gorgeous.
who took the pictures since they were in the pictures?
Well, they have a tripod.
Oh, okay.
And they set their phone up on it. And those are all taken off of a cell phone.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous. You know, the Grand Tetons have no foothills like we have here. Our mountains, they kind of cascade down into foothills. Those mountains, they just go straight up from a flat ground. You're driving along flat, and you look, and there it goes, and it's straight up.
That's wild.
It's amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Now, when y'all went, did you actually rent a cabin? Did you stay? I know you have a camper.
We flew out to. It was so funny. We had to fly from Atlanta. We took connecting flights. We flew from Atlanta to Seattle, Washington, Seattle to Portland, which was a 33-minute flight. And then then we took a puddle jumper from Portland over to Bozeman, Montana. That's where we stayed in Bozeman.
Oh my.
You
got me when you said puddle jumper. I was over it.
Well, we stayed in Bozeman. We went to Yellowstone. We did all of Yellowstone Park. And then we drove down and stayed one night. We were double booked. We stayed in Jackson Hole one night, even though we had a reservation in Bozeman. And then we went up the Idaho border. Oh, absolutely
Idaho
gorgeous.
is the most beautiful place in the world. Yeah.
And all the potato farms and the rolling hills. And back up into southwest Montana at Big Sky. It's a pretty country. Southwest Montana is gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, one day maybe I'll get there. I just keep saying I'm going to do it.
You're not getting any younger.
I'm not getting any younger. He's right.
Next month, I know how old you'll be.
Let's talk about the past, because in the past we had a dear friend, Don Coker, who watched our show religiously, and he would tell people, I'm her #1 fan, I'm her #1 fan, I'm her #1 fan. We lost him to cancer after a 4 to 6 week battle, and I never forget, I would get off the air, I would walk out of the studio, my phone would ring, Dawn would say, he's got to quit being mean to you. And I said, Dawn, it's all in fun. We have had a lot of fun,
She paid me to do it.
Yeah, I paid him to be mean to me. But one of the things that I finally got pretty good at was the music trivia. So today, I'm going to ask you if you might remember probably my favorite song of the 60s. I think I've said it a million times on the air. We've used it in trivia.
Little GTO?
No, and it's women singing. Now that's my clue. And I think Tim can pull it up and show it to you, but because we can't hear it, you won't get to hear them. But when you see them, you might know, because Don, the first day I said, oh my gosh, that's my favorite song, Don called me immediately and he said, I love that song too.
The Shirelles?
No, but you're getting closer.
Okay.
You're getting closer. So when
Martha Reeves and the Vandals?
No, but you're getting there. You're getting there. But this is one of those. It was almost a one-hit wonder, even though they went on to develop and to promote and to do a lot of music. It was on American Bandstand, and it was in black and white. So I'm really dating myself. It was in black and white. And the first time I heard that song, I was sitting at the red light in Jasper in my '66 Chevelle, and it was the only 4-speed I had. And I was holding the clutch in, and something had happened that had really upset me. I'd lost somebody that I really, really loved, and they died. And I was listening to that song, and I couldn't hold the clutch in because my knee was jerking so bad. from the emotion of this song, and it was a happy song. It was a good song to remember. It was a good song to dance to. It was just a great song.
Was it Be My Baby by the Ronettes?
It was Be My Baby by the Ronettes.
I ain't even heard it yet. I knew what you was going
Be My Baby by the Ronettes. There's something about that song. It fits every occasion. You can dance to it. You can listen to it. You can get emotional to it. And Ronnie Spector ended up married to Phil, who was the music producer.
He just died recently.
You know.
In prison.
In prison?
Yeah, he was arrested for murder.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow. Now, see, I wouldn't
He was
have known
known
that
for the
trivia.
Great Wall of Sound. The Dave Clark Five, a lot of those groups back then used his method of record producing. And it just sounded different than anything you'd ever heard, because a lot of the stuff you'd heard before that sounded like it was on AM radio. And the stuff he put out was the Great Wall of Sound. It sounded more like FM stereo, and people just gravitated to that.
He was amazing. Did he become involved in drugs, and is that what happened?
I can't comment on none of that. I don't know.
Wow.
But he just got in trouble and wound up in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. One
She
of the
kept his
greatest
name.
producers ever. Yeah. And I think that of the Ronettes, there were 2 of them left the last time I checked. And there they are. There they are. There's my song, Be My Baby by the Ronettes.
How did I ever guess that?
Oh my gosh, I love that song. I love to dance to that song. I love to listen to that song. That is like my go-to song.
There was some good music put out in those days.
It was absolutely amazing. We grew up in an era that the music was good music produced without any of the stuff they have today.
I watch, like a lot of people do, I get a kick out of watching these younger people do reactions on their videos, and they go back and listen to stuff they didn't know of. And these are like rap artists, people that that's who they are, but they're listening to stuff like that, and they're getting a kick out of it because they said, what talent.
Yes.
I mean, people can sing, you know.
Yes.
Carry notes.
And we can understand the music, and we can listen to the music.
And you can dance to it.
And you can dance to it. And there was another song, Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, Wooly Bully. Remember that?
Wooly Bully, yep.
And that was one of the big, when I was in the 8th grade, that was like the dancing to song. And then I was telling somebody yesterday, we were talking about.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out. We were talking about Creedence Clearwater and Green River.
Yeah, I love
Creedence.
John Fogerty. He's amazing.
Yes. And those are the songs that we grew up with. Those are the songs that set the tone with our 8 tracks.
Yeah, cassettes, yeah. I still got some 8 tracks. In fact, I just donated a bunch of them to the thrift store. I don't know what they're going to do with them, but I had boxes of them.
Did you re-record them, though, on a CD?
No, I had purchased most of them back on either cassette, and then when that faded out, I bought them on albums, and I've still got a bunch of 78s.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the days because you could actually
pull. Do you know that Walmart today sells vinyl?
Yeah, they do.
Do you know they sell
They're
it
selling
again?
a lot of it, too.
Yeah.
But you could actually sit and look at the pictures, and people made big money drawing stuff on these people's albums, and you can learn about the groups. You know, a lot of them had the words to the songs on them.
Sure. So. Yeah, I don't know what happened to music. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody who's out there. Taylor Swift, I know, has made $1 gazillion, and she's amazing, and she's super talented and all this stuff. But there are people out there selling stuff that they're calling music that just doesn't even resemble anything that's musical.
No, a lot of it's computer generated, and it's voiced over computer. I mean, there's stuff you can do with computers now.
Could voiceover make me sing?
Absolutely.
I don't
Absolutely.
think so.
Well, when I've been in recording studios doing the ones I did, the producer, he had this little deal. If you were just a hair pitch off, because we go back and listen to the whole thing after you're done. If you're just a hair pitch off, he had a modulator button. He'd just slide it right up, and it takes your voice and puts it right where it needs to be.
Oh my gosh.
Because I try.
So that's perfection.
Yeah, I try my best when I'm singing, even if I'm not recording, to be on pitch. Because I think it sounds good and better. But every now and then when you're recording, you'll slip up and you'll hear yourself and you'll go, oh, that didn't sound quite right. Let's fix that.
Yeah. That's wild. Well, you're going to sing something for us in a minute, but I want to share something that we actually, Tim loaded it to YouTube last night, and I shared it with some folks. We had the Burnt Mountain Choir on here years ago, and only about 4 or 5 of them came to sing. And they were like me. They were tone deaf. They couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, but they loved being on television, and I loved promoting them. Yeah. And last night, Tim loaded it up, and I shared it on YouTube with some of the parents of these folks. And I said it was such a blessing because they're like me. I sing in church. I can't sing. I can't sing. I couldn't carry a tune.
You make a
anywhere.
joyful noise.
And I said, Jesus wants to hear all our voices. He doesn't care if we're in tune.
It's what comes from right here in your heart. I mean, if you're singing from the heart, I get a bigger kick out of somebody singing from their heart than I do somebody that's very professional.
Well, all the years at Cool Springs, I stood with a lady who could not sing, but she sang loud every Sunday, and I loved it because nobody could hear that I couldn't sing.
Kind of gets to you after a while.
Yeah, I mean, and it touched my heart and it blessed me. And so today,
Check the phone, something interesting I sent you.
Oh, okay.
First song ever recorded in history.
Oh, first song ever recorded in history. Okay. We are going to first song ever recorded in history. Oh my gosh. Are we going to play that?
No.
Can we do Bill now singing? What are you going to sing? He's just decided to sit here and sing.
Well,
today.
I might sing your favorite. Grandma got ran over, since it's Christmas, by a reindeer coming home from our house Christmas Eve. Now, you may say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Sherry, we believe.
We believe.
No, that's not the one I was going to sing, but my dad asked me to sing that in church one time. I said, no.
No, Daddy.
He loved that song.
Not in church.
I like a Perry Como version of, oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, 'cause no matter how far away you roam, when you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for there's no place like home. You know how that song goes.
Yep.
And then it goes, I met a man who lives in LJ, and he was headed for Ball Ground, Georgia, and some homemade pumpkin pie. From Ball Ground, Georgia, folks are headed down to Dixie sunny shores. From Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is horrific. Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. You know the traffic is horrific.
It is horrific.
'Cause no matter how far away you roam, when you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze. How's it go?
I don't know. I'm lost.
For the holidays, there's no
place like home. Yes.
Home, sweet home. Anyway, Merry Christmas to you and everybody else.
Everybody. You know, we are facing a season without your mom. We're facing a season without your dad. We're facing a season, and Melissa just lost a young brother.
Yeah,
which is really, really tough.
And condolences to my Uncle Floyd Siniard, who lives here in LJ. He just lost his wife a few days ago. And Uncle Jack Bryson.
Yes. Oh, Papa Jack was the one.
Papa Jack Bryson, and condolences to that family. What a great guy.
What a great guy. What a great guy. There will be holiday tables, and I have 2 chairs at my table that are sitting there empty with pictures in it. And one is for somebody who's in Alaska because she can't be here, and one is her mom. And the holidays are never the same.
It's rough for a lot of people.
Yeah, after something happens and you lose somebody, it's really, really tough. Now, the guys pulled up the song of the first song ever recorded. Is that right? And it is called, how do you pronounce that? I don't know.
What year was it?
French artist.
Eau de Claire la Lune.
Eau Claire de la Lune.
There you go. Okay, and it was recorded in what year?
The 18th century.
The 18th century. So music has been
around
recorded.
then.
I was around then. I was there.
You should remember that.
I was the one saying, you're off pitch just a little bit.
Play that on an old Victrola.
Yeah. When we think about music, though, these mountains were full of music. ETC started because of the mountains full of music. And somebody at ETC had a brainstorm that we're going to bring these choirs from churches. We're going to bring these local artists. And we've seen so many local artists come through here, from Barry Abernathy, Floyd Scott, you know, so many people. And the Heart Fund was one of the big deals because they were raising money for the Heart Association. That brought stages full of local talent. And that's how ETC kind of started.
Well, the quartet business, this old saying in North Georgia and the Carolinas and Tennessee, you shake a bush and a quartet will fall out.
There you go, there you go. Now, if you were going to go listen to gospel music today, what is the group that you really, really like?
Well, I still love the Kingdom Heirs, and I like Triumphant Quartet. The reason they're friends of mine. I like them, but I don't know. I saw the Inspirations just the other day and the new arrangement, and they were fantastic. So I don't really have a favorite per se, but there's several out there to choose from.
When I go back
Greater Vision's still great.
Greater Vision's still great. When I go back to the old days of Vestal and Howard, and then coming on up.
Chuckwagon Gang.
Chuckwagon Gang. There's so much stuff. And we had a little bit of a program with you and Penny. Can we get to that one for just a minute? Can we do the one with Penny and Bill?
She's singing with a girl group now, or ladies group, I should say.
Just 1 minute of that, and then we're going to end today with a gentleman who he passed away, but his wife loved to hear him sing. And Shane Michael Thurman was here on the program with us. He played this beautiful piano that we have here in the studio. And then sadly, he was killed in a horrific car accident. And that music was silenced. And we've seen so much music silenced, from dementia to Alzheimer's to cancer to so many amazing people. Dottie Rambo, perfect example. She was out on tour and was killed. She had written how many hundreds of songs?
Yeah, hundreds. Good ones.
That we hear every single day, and some group somewhere today is going to do a Dottie Rambo song.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, she's on her tour bus and it crashed.
And when I think about the Chuckwagon Gang, over 70 years now, the Chuckwagon Gang has been out there, and Penny was with them.
Right.
Is she still doing singing at all? I don't know.
Yeah, she's with a ladies group. There's a trio. I can't remember the name of the group now, but she'll kill me for that because I should know. She keeps inviting me to come see them, but if you'll look her up, you'll find it. It's online.
But she's also married to somebody who's from a very famous group.
Yeah. Dixie Echoes.
The Dixie Echoes have been around for over 50 years. And we just look back at the music that from the Ronettes and Be My Baby to the Vestal when I was 14 years old and first heard her sing, and then saw that big hairdo, and I guess I thought I had to have me a big old hairdo too. But that music got us through the moment. The music got us through the moment. So if we can't do that one, if you can't pull it up, don't worry about that one. Let's go to Shane Michael Thurman and let's end with him, if you don't mind, on the piano. The day that he sang this song, he said, I want this to go out to my wife. And he and Lisa were very happily married for years, and there are days, I'm sure, that you have sung Melissa a song and said, I'm thinking about you. He did this song, and then she contacted me after he died, and she said, is there any way you can get me a copy of that? To have recorded things that we have and be able to share them with loved ones, to have what we had of Aunt Arlene today.
It lives on forever.
It lives on forever. So we are so blessed to have an archive. And so on ETC, you don't know what you're going to get to see next, because Tim has control of all these files. And I was so excited last night when I saw that he had pulled out the Burnt Mountain Choir. It was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And to get to see them, and it had been probably 9 years since they'd been here on the show, and there's several of them who still go to the Burnt Mountain Center, and I thought they're going to enjoy this. And so I shared it with their families, and I said, that's what it's about. Raise your voice and let the Lord hear it, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
I agree. Because it's going to live, especially if it's recorded, it can live on forever. That's what I like about creating recorded music.
Right.
People can listen to it for years and years. Paul McCartney made a statement, hey, I'm still getting paid for stuff I did 50 years ago.
And he really is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you think about it. The Beatles came here in
1964.
That was a long time ago. That was 57 years ago. Is that about right? Somewhere around there?
Pretty close, yeah.
57 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, we think about the music that set the tone.
And this may not appeal to the audience, but the Rolling Stones came just shortly after that. Mick Jagger is 78. I watched him on a video.
Performing.
He was in Atlanta. They were in Atlanta just a couple of weeks ago. He sang for an hour and a half, did aerobics on the stage, 78 years old, for an hour. I don't know how, and he does it night after night after night.
I know.
It made me tired just watching him.
I know. It's crazy. It is absolutely
Tom
crazy.
Jones, same way. He did, we watched him. We went to his concert 2 years ago.
Now, Melissa really liked Tom
That's
Jones.
her favorite.
Yeah.
And he was 79 at the time and sang for an hour and 45 minutes nonstop. And did that every night.
Well, and Charlie Pride was the same way. When we saw him, he was 78. And he danced on stage an hour and a half. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was worn out. I'd interviewed him and then I was tired. But it is amazing to me how the talent just keeps going and going.
I know guys my age that can't even walk, and here's this guy that's 78 years old doing concerts every night.
Right.
Go figure.
Right. Yeah. Did we find Shane Michael Thurman? Oh, okay. I'll do it tomorrow if we can't find it today. There it is. Is that it? Yay! Did you find it? We're trying. Thank you for being here today. It's always a joy to have Bill with us. I know that our viewers love Bill. He was kind of like my favorite. Everybody loved when he would be here because it was always a lot of fun. We never knew what was going to happen. We certainly didn't know what was going to happen at the end of your parents' life, to see your dad leave cancer.
Yep.
And then your mom with Alzheimer's. Okay, here we go. We're going to end today with Shane Michael Thurman singing a song for his beautiful wife, Lisa.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come, my heart may burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to